Hi, everybody. I'm Sheila, and we have Rick and Gina. We're just talking about why it's important to eat 6 small meals a day. So the studies have shown that if you go longer than 3 hours without eating while you're awake, that your blood sugar drops. And so your body produces insulin to bring your blood sugar up. If you have low blood sugar, sometimes you feel a little dizzy or a little faint. So how many of you have ever skipped breakfast until you start feeling dizzy and you go, oh, I haven't eaten yet? Okay, raise your hand if you've ever done that. Okay. Yeah, I used to think that that would help me lose weight if I'd skip, because I think once I start eating, it's like I just don't stop all day. So if I put off eating in the morning, I'll lose weight. Well, what happened is opposite. Actually, I gained weight as I got so big. It wasn't always a conscious thing, but somehow in the back of my mind, I felt like eating isn't that important. It just makes me fat. So I'll get the kids out the door. I'll get the laundry done. I'll get to work. I'll do whatever. And then about noon or 1, I'd start getting dizzy and cloudy thinking. And then I'd realize, oh, I haven't eaten yet. I better eat something, because I'd even get a little shaky. So what happens is when we go too long without eating while we're awake, you don't have to wake up every night in the middle of the night to eat. Don't do that. So I'm saying while we're awake, if you go longer than 3 hours with eating, your blood sugar drops, insulin's released, and then insulin decides, it's a hormone, it decides, am I going to store fat or am I going to burn it? So if you've been too long, even if it's something really healthy you eat, you have a nice chef salad or a nice chicken Caesar salad for lunch, but it's the first thing you've eaten that day, your body thinks it's in crisis because it's been so long since you've had food. So the insulin is pumped in there, and when you eat it, even if it's something healthy, it's going to do everything it can to store that energy because it thinks, she's crossing the plane, she's going to need this later, so I'm going to store it for her. It's doing you a favor because it thinks you're in trouble, it thinks you're in crisis. So it's being your friend, and it's storing it for later because it thinks you're going to go, like a mama bear that eats all this stuff, and she's going to need to store it for winter when she's not going to be awake to eat. She's going to hibernate. So she'll burn that fat all winter long while she's hibernating. So our body thinks that it needs to store it for us. It's doing us a favor. So by eating it more often, smaller meals more often, then what happens is our body, we've eaten, and 3 hours later we eat again, and it says, hey, she ate 3 hours ago, she's eating again now. Guess I don't need to store it, and it'll burn it instead. So they've done a study at Johns Hopkins University, and they took, and I don't know the exact number of calories, but let's just say 2,000, okay? So they took 2 groups of people, and they gave them the same meals exactly. So 2,000 calories to group A, 2,000 calories to group B. The only difference is they broke down the food into 6 small meals with group A, and with group B, they divided into the traditional 3 meals. And group A, guess what? Their blood pressure went down, their cholesterol went down, their weight went down, and group B didn't change. It just stayed the same. So they had the exact same food, but group A lost weight because they broke it into smaller meals. So that's the thing to think about this week. Now, what we like is to have meals that are balanced protein and carb. So a small meal isn't a bagel and orange juice. If that's all carbohydrates, that causes your blood sugar to go way up. And we want to keep our blood sugar on the low side by eating protein and carb balanced. So a really healthy breakfast would be something whole grain, an egg, a piece of fruit. So you have some carbs, some protein. So anyway, so I've put some ideas in the deal about some healthy menu ideas, and all of those show eating 6 times a day. Just some ideas. And I put some healthy snack ideas. So you might think of it, I'm having 3 small meals and 3 snacks. So you said you've been eating that way, Rick. Tell me about how you break it up and what your typical day would be like.
Oh, lately I've been either having a little bit of oatmeal or an egg and a piece of toast in the morning, first thing. And usually 10, 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock in there somewhere, I'll grab an apple or an orange or a handful of carrots, celery, something to that effect. And lunch is usually pretty light, cottage cheese and some deli meat of some kind. In the afternoon, again, some fruit or vegetable. And dinner time is whatever I happen to be fixing. Usually it's pretty light. And then it's usually later at night. In fact, I'm getting ready. I'll grab a yogurt or something, and just kind of keeps me mellow through the day.
Okay. So can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Okay. Have you ever tried to figure out about how many protein and carbs you're having at each?
No.
Okay. So, just as an idea, if you have an apple, that's a great thing. But if you have an apple with 10 almonds at the same time, you're going to get the protein and the carb, and your body's going to keep its blood sugar more level.
Okay.
Or if you have an apple with a string cheese. So if you can add some protein to that snack, you're going to find that your weight loss is going to go faster.
Okay.
And it seems funny. It's like, I'm going to add more calories and I'll lose weight. You will. It's an interesting thing, but it works. Okay. So tell me your typical kind of day of what you eat, Gina.
Well, lately I've been eating tomatoes almost every meal because we have them in the garden.
Aren't they wonderful? Oh,
yes.
I love them. So what are some of the things you do with the tomatoes?
Well, I do a BLT. I've had that. And then I do a pasta salad with tomatoes and cucumbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those two things.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And so what I like to do is like Rick said he likes some, did you say you like cottage cheese sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
So I love to cut up a tomato and put some cottage cheese on that tomato. And so then you have the carbs that are in the tomato, and then you have the protein.
Mm-hmm.
I also make tuna salad, but instead of putting it on bread, I put it on a cut up tomato.
Oh, okay.
Or I make egg salad out of hard-boiled eggs and a little bit of mayo that's made. I like the olive oil mayo, a little dill pickle and stuff like that. Mix it up, and I like to have that in a tomato too. So I have found all kinds of ways to kind of start getting rid of those extra carbs. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
And that really helps. So I've been really conscious of doing that the last 2 weeks, and I'm down 9 pounds in 2 weeks just by really saying I'm
great.
Get back to what I know. Got to walk the talk. Okay. All right. So, Gina, did you have a chance to watch the recording we did last week about the
Yes.
brain? Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching that.
So I wondered if you thought about what kind of car you would be.
Oh, probably a bug, a VW bug.
Bug. Okay. So tell me what it is. Is that because that's the kind of car you like, or you imagine yourself petite and
right. Fast. And fast.
And fast. Okay. That's good. All righty.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. I thought it'd be fun if everybody kind of puts on the wall, on our team wall. So any of you that are listening to this afterwards, we'd love to have you find a picture of the car that represents you and helps you remember, this is, if I owned this car, that's kind of like my dream car, and it represented me, how would I feed it? How would I fuel it? How would I take care of it? And would it get me where I want to go? And what could I accomplish if I had that car and if I had that healthy body? So you can think about it, whether you're moving forward or whether you're a rocking chair. So I wanted to talk about that two-part brain again for a minute. How many of you have used a GPS to find a location? Do you use your GPS? Okay. So tell me what happens if you're going along and you decide you want to take a little side trip, because, you know, the GPS is telling you how to get from Denver to Ogden, but you decide you want to stop somewhere along the way and get gas or something, you know. So you get off the freeway. What does the GPS do? So Gina, what happens to your GPS when you take the wrong turn?
Doesn't it turn right off?
Mine hasn't turned off. Does it? Yours just turns right off?
Or does it say stop, 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 turn? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what happens to you, Rick, when you take a detour?
Well, my GPS is a little bit different. It's a handheld.
Uh-huh.
And I use it in geocaching. And basically, the numbers start getting, instead of getting smaller like you're getting close, they start getting larger. So you know you're heading in the wrong direction.
Okay, so it kind of gives you a warning. You're headed in the wrong direction. Do you guys remember Lost in Space?
Oh, yeah.
And you remember the robot that his arms would wave like that? When you were just describing that GPS warning you, I just could picture that robot. I don't know why. Anyway, it would give warning, warning, warning. Well, my first GPS, what it would do is it would say recalculating. In her, you know, if you have it speak to you, then it says recalculating. And then they figure out, okay, from where you are now, let's figure it again. Recalculating. But never once does the GPS go, you stupid woman, you just took a wrong turn. Don't you have any brains in your head? Get that car back where it's supposed to be. But the GPS doesn't do that. It just recalculates. Okay, so sometimes when we have the wrong whatever in our head and we're thinking we're being more of a diet mentality and we're in a rocking chair, let's say we take a little detour. Okay, this is what my plan was today, and I take a little detour. Sometimes in our brain do we think, okay, recalculating, I just had this, so this means, like for example, if I skipped a meal because I was so busy today and it's been 5 hours since I've eaten, I could either, my chatter in my brain can start going, you know better than this, how could you be so stupid to do it? Or I can think, okay, recalculating, now what do I know to do? And this is what you do. If it's been 5 hours since I've eaten, I eat right away. Like, okay, I still got to make dinner. Well, I'm going to have a snack before I make dinner then. I'm going to go ahead and sit down and have a tomato with cottage cheese. And then I'm going to eat an hour later again. So if you ever skip a meal and it's been 5 hours, then you need to eat again another small meal an hour later. That's what you should do. So that in that 6 hour window, you've had a couple of meals. Now, it doesn't work if you've been 10 hours without eating and you eat 5 meals in a row. Don't do that. Okay. But, you know, at night, we have, it's called breakfast for a reason. It's break fast because we've been fasting all night, right? We break our fast in the morning with breakfast. Have you ever thought about it that way? Breaking your fast? Yeah. So all night long, you're fasting from food. And you have that breakfast in the morning. It really is the most important meal of the day. And you need to eat that breakfast within an hour of waking up. And this is why. When you're sleeping, because you're not bringing in new energy, your body's metabolism slows way down while you sleep. Your heart rate slows down. Your breathing slows down. Everything slows down. Your body function slows down. And so it stays slow until you eat.
Go to bed. She's supposed to be up. Go to bed. Gosh, she's
Tell her
supposed
to wave hi to us.
I put her to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah?
And she snuck.
Oh, that's funny. It's reality at the Whitehead house.
Yeah.
We've all been there, done that. Yep.
Yeah.
So, the sooner you eat in the morning and eat something healthy, your body's going to start metabolizing, which means it's going to start burning fat. It's going to start functioning. And so they said sometimes even if when you first wake up, you kind of start doing a chewing motion, even if there's nothing in your mouth, just start doing a chewing motion and get your saliva going. that gets your metabolism going. Did you know that? Yeah, just doing the motion of chewing. Just try right now chewing with nothing in your mouth. Just try it. Can you feel the saliva start coming? Yeah, that gets your metabolism going. So that's something to do. I've noticed sometimes I'm not really a gum chewer, so I don't really do that. But I wonder sometimes if they've done studies of people that are chewing gum, if they tend to have a higher metabolism. I don't know. Might be interesting to do that study, huh? Okay, so what have you learned on this call that you think would help you that you didn't know? So we'll start with you, Rick. Have you learned anything?
I think probably the thing I've learned is to start looking at what I'm doing with my 6 meals.
Okay.
Plan them a little more carefully. I mean, I'm doing them, but not quite as carefully as I should.
Okay. And what about them might you change?
Get a little bit more protein in it.
Okay.
Yeah, a little more protein. Maybe cut down a little bit on the carbs.
Okay. Yeah. If you kept track, the ideal for weight loss, the ideal zone should be in is that you have the equal amount of carbs as you do proteins. So my goal for how many calories I'm eating right now is I'm trying to get about 100 carbs and 100 grams of carbs, 100 grams of protein. So that's that's my goal. And so you can sit down. You don't have to figure out every day, but if you have a Fitbit or if you get online, you can look and see. And Apple has about this many. I don't even look at the calories. I look at this is how many carbs, this is how many, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of protein. And you can kind of come up with a plan. And if you're a person like I am, I don't have to have something different every day. I'm okay to kind of do a routine. And if that really works for me, my protein shake that I know has exactly the same number of carbs, and I'll have it every morning, so I don't even have to think. That works for me. So I like some variety with my dinners, but I'm good to have pretty routine, and so I don't have to figure it out every day. So Gina, what have you learned? Gina's frozen. Morning. Yep, she is. Gina, come back to us. Oh dear. All right. Well, maybe Gina, you're going to have to post on our Facebook page as you go back and watch this. Maybe you can hear us, but you don't realize you're frozen. I don't know. Anyway, she's gone. So yep. Gina, on our Facebook page, I would love for you to write. I'll post this video. And you can write underneath there as a comment of something you've learned and what you're willing to do. And all of you out there in video land that are watching it, I would love you to do the same. I'm going to give you a couple assignments. Tell us what car you're going to be, or you can picture yourself as, just for fun. Post a picture. That'd be kind of fun. And the second thing is something you've learned from just today's call. And at the end of the week, we're going to wrap it up with what progress we've made this month. So everybody know on Friday and Saturday, we're going to be putting some posts in there of what we've accomplished this month and what we'd like to accomplish next month. I'm going to close the group down at the end of the week. And so any of you that want to continue as part of the group, I'd love for you to hop on over to our September games and be part of it. It costs you $23, but it's pretty fun, and you can earn all that money back plus some, either by maintaining or losing weight, but by just doing daily things. So I'm going to close by just telling you something I've done to help myself. I started back in college up at Weber State. And hi, Gina, you're back. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So I want you to be thinking what the question I asked Rick was if you'd learned something on the call. Have you learned something that you can share?
Yeah, I guess like Rick said, to plan better, and because sometimes I'm running around, I'm not home. Maybe actually bring a good snack with a protein and a carbohydrate with me.
Yeah.
Instead of starving for 5 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a handful of almonds is a good one. You don't want to eat out of nuts. I take 10 almonds and I put them in a little baggie, and then I just take the 10 with me. If I have a big bag, I'll be eating 100 before I'm thinking about it. So yeah. portion it out. So that's good to take a snack with you. And I'll give a little plug to all of you know that I'm a Take Shape for Life coach. And if you want help with healthy snacks, I can help you with that. Okay. All right. Anything else that you've learned or that you have questions about, Gina?
Yeah, I think when you start talking, my diet consists mostly of carbohydrates.
Okay.
Bread and pasta, and I do definitely need to look at what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah, and we want lean protein sources. So things like, and there is an issue with deli meat, just so you know. If you're better off to have, like, buy a roast chicken and eat the meat off that, or roast your own turkey. The problem with deli meat is they have preservatives and nitrites in them, just like bacon and sausage. And so it tends to have us retain our water, and it keeps us from losing weight. So even though it's a protein thing, when you're in the weight loss phase, it'll actually keep you from losing weight if you have deli meat. That unless you go to the deli and have them fresh, slice it. But when you buy it in the package, they have a lot of preservatives. You know how you see it in the package and it's good for a month?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of preservatives in it. So you're better off, you know, if you get a roast chicken and you left it in your fridge for a month, it would go bad, right? So anytime something has a big shelf life like that, that's fresh, you know that it's got a lot of preservatives.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
And those preservatives are toxic, and they actually kind of slow down your progress. So I was just going to tell you quickly what I did is all last year, even though I was a registered student at Weber State, I'd taken one class, but I had my activity card all year long. I never stepped into that Wildcat Center, into the gym, even once, not even once. I had a hiking buddy and a walking buddy, and I never really took advantage. So I've just started back to school full time, and I looked at my schedule, and I have scheduled myself 3 fitness classes that are each twice a week. So for 6 hours a week, I will be required to be there working out. I'm taking strength training and Zumba and cross training. And so I'll be getting 6 hours of exercise a week in order to get my A's. And I'm really competitive, you know, because I don't want to just do a pass-fail thing. I want to get A's. So look at your schedule and see what you can do that will motivate you and help you to reach the goal you want to get. So my goal is to be down another 30 pounds before Christmas. So I'll report to you. You'll be able to see it in my face. Okay. All righty. So I don't know if you guys want to, we'll maybe chat again over, if you decide not to do the September games with us, maybe you just want to stay in touch with me sending emails and things, but I'm happy to help still coach you along, whether you order from me or whether you do the September challenge. I can still stay connected with emails and stuff. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Thanks everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.